Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 96 of Gains, and this one is titled Gym Intro. At the end of that day, you went to go and get your letter of recommendation from Aizawa and put it in your pocket along with your quirk evaluation. You were stoked and went to your room to call your mum about it. After chatting to her for a bit, you decided to go and hand your recommendation in. Why not? The sooner the better, right? So without letting anyone know, you snuck out of your room and left the building, then caught the bus to the prestigious gym at the end of town. The building was huge. You'd seen it before, but for some reason it seemed even bigger today. Okay, here goes, you thought as you reached for the handle of the gym door. Before you could push it open, though, the door opened on its own, and you paused for a second to work out what was going on. Oh, sorry, did I confuse you? A friendly, cheeky voice asked, and you looked over your shoulder to see the hero, Hawks, standing there behind you with his hands in pockets. Hawks, I mean, yes, you fumbled. He chuckled. Well, in you go. The feathers have got you covered. He pointed to the corner of the door where one of his red feathers was holding it open for you. Oh, thank you, you said as you quickly stepped through, with him following you. You here for an assignment? He asked as he walked beside you to the front desk. I have a letter of recommendation, you said, not believing that you were having an actual real-life conversation with Hawks, the Hawks. Oh, he asked with a smirk. What's your quirk? Hawks, are you accosting our young heroes? The voice of Mount Lady asked as she walked out from the gym exit into the foyer with her bag slung over one shoulder. Just gentle interrogation, Hawks replied, our victim's being very cooperative. I can help you get away from him, Mount Lady said with a smile at you as she walked over. He's okay. I'm okay. I'm fine, you said mechanically. There were two heroes talking to you right now. Hello, a third voice chimed in, and you looked towards the voice. There was a lady at the front desk now, and you smiled at her, then stepped over. Hi. I don't know who needs to see this, but I have these, you said, pulling the papers from your pocket and handing them over to her. She opened them and did a quick read, and then nodded her head and stepped back. Yep, come with me, she said, looking from the paper to you, and then noticed Hawks was still standing there next to you. Can I help you, Hawks? She asked. No, just here to get some intel, he joked. Was asking this upcoming hero what her quirk is, he said, giving you a wink. Hawks just winked at me. Hawks just winked at me, you screeched internally. Light. I have a light quirk, you replied quickly. Oh, interesting, he replied. Young miss, if you'll come with me, the lady said again, to you, and you quickly looked over at her. Oh, yes, sorry, I'm coming. Sorry, Hawks, bye. It was very nice to talk to you, you said, giving him a little wave before following her through a side door. Hawks just wanted to ask you more, but he figured he could track you down at a later time, if need be, and so shrugged and headed into the gym by himself. The lady led you down the hall to an office and knocked on the door there. Come, a male voice called, and she entered the room and invited you in. Sir, I have a young girl recommended for this gym. She is a hero in training, she said briefly. And I have her letter of recommendation and recent quirk eval here. Good, the man said, looking up from his work and smiling at you. Come on over here, young one. Let's have a look at your credentials. You nodded and the lady gestured for you to take a seat while she handed the man the papers. She then excused herself and you were left with the man to discuss some things. Let me read this letter here, he said as he pushed his glasses up onto the bridge of his nose and peered down through them. Your teacher is Hero Eraserhead? Yes, sir, that's correct, he said softly. Good, he said, nodding as he read the letter and then took a look at the quirk evaluation. His eyebrows raised when he got to the second page and then looked over the top of his glasses at you. These numbers are impressive, Yin, he said. Thank you, sir, you said softly. We would need for you to do a fitness test here before anything else, so we can do a baseline on you. With this in front of me here, he said, holding up the papers, I don't have any further questions. You need to be at this gym. Your teacher has requested that you have a personal trainer to oversee your training, which I think is a good idea. You have a lot of potential, so we want to make sure it's being cultivated correctly and that you're not hurting yourself, he said. Do you have time now to come and meet your potential trainer? Yeah, of course, he said excitedly. Okay, come along then, he said as he stood up and walked to the door with you following. I do have someone in mind. She's very good at her job and I'm sure that you'll like her. You nodded, but stayed quiet as he took you through some doors and different training areas till you got to a big open space with lots of mats on the ground. There were trainers and heroes everywhere doing all kinds of things, and you looked around as you walked behind him. Ori, he called, and a young girl who only appeared to be a little older than you turned around. She was of solid build, had a bright face, and looked like she meant business, but also had a kindness to her. Ori, this is Yin. She's come in with a recommendation and a vast amount of potential. Would you mind taking her on? He asked, giving her a look that you had no idea of the meaning behind that look, but she seemed to understand. Yes, I'm already pumped, she said, grinning as she reached out to shake your hand. You put your hand out and nearly had it shaken off with her enthusiastic greeting. Okay, you keen to get to it? She asked, and you blinked and then looked at the guy who had brought you in, then at her, then back to him. Wait, what now? You asked with fear. We'll do some warm-ups, Ori said brightly, cracking her knuckles and cracking her neck from side to side. You hummed, but the guy seemed pleased to leave you in her hands. Yes, just do some warm-ups and I'll talk to you later, Ori, he said, the pair sharing a knowing glance before he walked off. Oh crap, this is the deep end, isn't it? What's happening? You screeched internally. So what's your fight style? She asked you, swinging her arms and rotating her shoulders to warm up. I don't know, you said softly. Yeepers, deep end indeed. Stay tuned for chapter 97 coming tomorrow. I'll see you then.